ebe manyuni yizura korade ngayende moimbu koro chi ji ji zuda adoji sinji ala zuraye zuzo ongere bema azede om oy oroji yoroji enezanda abe maige zadumbola yom zen yogi mudo oyni ebe mam yuni yezada koradu ngayendo moimbu goro chi ji ji da da ji Suraya Zozo Ongere Bema Asidi Om Oing Oraji Yoraji Nizanga Abema Igeza Dumbola Yansen Joygi Ingudoni Ebe Man Yuni Yesura Koradu Ngandro Moy Mbugoro Chi da doji shinji ala zurege zozo ongere bema asede Okay, thank you. Now everyone, now we start the discussion. Yeah. Anyone going to, how we start? Yes, yeah, one, yeah. Oh yeah, this is that far. And then Lamalaya, you say that. Thank you. Yeah.
I was wondering if you would be willing to offer some of us pointing out instructions.
So Dzogchen teaching.
She said, I was wondering if you'd be willing to offer us pointing out instructions.
Dzogchen teaching, okay. Pointing out the Dzogchen teaching, yeah, and things are trying. You were pointing out of Dzogchen teaching, generally you need a little bit kind of foundation practices, and then you receive the pointing out teachings. And so what is the foundation teaching is just always a little more connecting of the bodhicitta. And you know, right, the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, mind of the enlightenment, is completely kind of combined together with compassion and wisdom together, generating that mind as much as we can do always, and then feel close connection to the one who taught the teaching of the Dzogchen. And the Dzogchen teaching is taught by the Buddha. We always called in Buddhism gracious teacher Buddha. So Buddha gave the teaching, so feel close kind of connection to the Buddha, and then as well as also his teaching, and the Dzogchen is according the teaching, the highest or the direct pointing out the teaching of the nature of the mind, but also he gave variety of the teaching to discover the gradually our nature of the mind and pointing or discovering the Dzogchen teaching. So also respect to all the teachings, and then feel closer connection to all the teachings, plus also closer connection to all the practitioners of the Dharma, and then as I say, the generating more like wisdom and compassion combined together. And that practice is known as then, commonly known as then, the four immeasurables, and many of you may be heard. Four immeasurables are immeasurable of loving kindness, immeasurable of the compassion, immeasurable of the joy or the rejoice, immeasurable of the calm and peaceful balance. Those are kind of with that attitude of mind, and then also do activity, beneficial activity to everyone, those we know or we don't know, really trying to kind of have those beautiful also activity according your capabilities. Those are always the part of Dzogchen practice, Dzogchen teaching. And then what is Dzogchen itself? Dzogchen means, it's the very word, Dzogchen means completion, greater completed. So according to Dzogchen teaching, everything is completed one's own mind. Mind is the really source of everything. One's own mind, your mind or my mind, the source of everything. Also, everything is completed within our own mind. And that mind, then, so what is this mind? And discovering or looking to the mind, when you look to your mind, and there is no substantially solid existing, concrete existing, mind is open and empty and kind of infinite. And when you discover that nature, they call it, that is in the Dzogchen teaching, or in the teaching, the nature of the mind. And then you have to relax and trying to bring that, call it more in the mind, more and more. And when we do that, then naturally kind of increasing your love, joy, calmness, peaceful, and openness, and also confidence, courage, all those in knowledge and wisdom really will shine, because according to Dzogchen or in Buddhism, our wisdom and compassion is really come from mind. When you relax, when we relax, calm and peaceful, then all these beautiful natures arise so beautifully, and then that can help to us or one's own self and benefit for all other beings. So that's how really we started that, and more looking to the mind and relax on the nature. What you discovered in that state is like in a way pointing out the nature of the Dzogchen. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how can we be more sure, with less doubt and hesitation, that the conditions that we're experiencing right now, whatever they may be, are orienting us like towards goodness, so that when we die, we can feel like an overwhelming sense of peace, and we can like rejoice that all those chapters in our life made like perfectly align and just make a lot of sense.
It's echoing really kind of like the sound. Kind of didn't hear exactly. The doubt and hesitation you mentioned, right?
Doubt, hesitation, and then things perfectly aligning when we get to the end of our life, that it all makes sense.
Well, that I can have.
Okay, so how can we make sure without doubt and hesitation that as we're getting towards the end of our life, we know that the things we've been doing up to that point are actually really good, so we can have confidence at the end of our life and like kind of be able to really have clear confidence of that.
And doubt and hesitations. Doubt actually is sometimes, or the beginning time, doubt can be like a little bit more wisdom aspect of doubt. Sometimes you like to analyze. You don't immediately jump and make the decision. You like to analyze and investigate. And that aspect of the doubt is known as the wisdom. So it's okay. But once you confirmed, once you really decided one is good, then if we continually practice or continually performing the activity, then if you get anybody get doubt, then it really becomes the obstacle. Is the obstacle is hindrance, and it will delay our performance and the success. So therefore, always then really don't come near the doubt, and just have to drop, or we just let it go, the doubt. Don't hold on the doubt. And a great master teacher who is really famous in the Buddhism, his name is Nagarjuna, and he mentioned that there is this doubt, and as well as such as kind of like a restless mind, doubt, restless mind, as well as in the very kind of craving to all the desirable objects, and then as well as also regret and feel guilty, and then also, of course, all the, and little bit of resentment of thought. All those are the obstacles, robbers of the virtues. He used the example, robbers of the virtues. And don't let come near that. They are the really robbers. They are not helpers. They are not supporters. Even though they come maybe slightly different ways, or kind of like very kind of like nice and a gentle way, or kind of making, oh, what's the point, and this and that thing. But if that thought entering our mind, mental status, it really disturbs all our activities, and as well, particularly virtues. Particularly meditation, practice a good activity, it really will disturb that. So don't let it come that. So that's how to do it. That when that is coming, increasing more in the teaching said, more love and compassion, increase more close connection to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or Buddhas, and read the books of those great masters, the great like teachers who fulfilled who went through a lot of challenges too, but they really fulfilled all the challenges are completely kind of like removed and dispelled and continually carried, and then built up more courage and commitment and a determination thought that I'm not going to follow with that. And then also look to the doubt and hesitation thought itself is mind. Again, is the mind. The mind is, same thing, is emptiness. There is no solid existence. So why we are really kind of like holding onto this thought, and it has no benefit and no support at all. So immediately when it comes, increasing confidence, joy, and it has no benefit. Those are filled strong presence and the kind of blessings of the Buddhas or the enlightened beings. And then just move forward. Don't listen to those thoughts. That's the really in the teaching mentioned. Okay. Yes.
Let's just say someone just somehow knows they're going to die in 1 minute, and they're not free in that last minute. They're still suffering. What would you say to them? Like, what should they do?
I think that is when that's happening, and if you're there or if loved ones are there, and support that the individuals. Make all the kind and nice words. And if you know that person, and tell that person how wonderful you are, how wonderful you've been. You've been so successful. You did good things. And now is the time you generate more confidence, more happy what he did or she did. Really feel more comfortable, happy, more satisfaction, and not worry, sad, and unhappiness. And also become emotional. Those are in the teaching said it's so bad. When people are when they're leaving, in the moment that they're leaving, at that moment, if their mind is not restful and become so kind of disturbed by the emotions, and then according to Buddhism, that is not the end of life. So there is the next life, or the pardo, we call the intermediate state, before you take the rebirth. And the intermediate state becomes so disturbances. People that died with the emotions, and that whole become kind of dark and really scary, and then very emotionally and confused, and it will disturb the journey during the intermediate status, as well as it disturbs to the next rebirth. So, but people who died passed away with a little more calm, peaceful, happy, confidence, and then if they have any beliefs, whatever belief that individual has, support that belief. Even if we have different belief, support that the person's belief and bring up that thought, and then help. If that person died with those beliefs and with calm and peaceful joy, according to the teaching, that intermediate state become a really calm and peaceful journey, and then also their rebirth. Next rebirth will be quite successful. So therefore, that last minute is really like kind and soft, tender, and nice word is really important. And then if your practitioners also softly kind of chanting some mantras, that which is, if it's going to disturb that person's mind, don't chant loudly, but quietly chant the mantras, and that will support. If that person has believed similar things which you believe, if you chant, those are really good. Chant and say those things soft, gently. Those are said, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm wondering your thoughts on how does love prove itself to be the nature of awareness?
Again, I couldn't.
How does love prove itself to be the nature of awareness?
And that's in the teaching said, in the Buddhist teaching, nature of the mind is love, nature of the mind is compassion. Nature of mind is compassion, nature of mind is intelligence or the wisdom. So how you prove that nature, that is really proved because when you have the love, your love never going to you make tired and bored. And as well as also when you have the love, that everyone recognize, no matter even they are different categories, or such as the animals. The love don't need language, don't interfere blocked by language. Love and affections, the compassion goes beyond the common structures of the languages, that because it touches the nature, everyone's nature. Therefore, nature of the mind is so special, and when you have love and compassion, you feel more relaxed, more calm and peaceful. And not just you, but it also makes others more calm and peaceful. That is whole time, not just once in a while, or love and compassion makes that. That really love. Therefore, that proves love and compassion are nature of the mind, and as well as wisdom. wisdom, intelligence. They all three are the nature of the mind. And in fact, in Buddhism, it's called Buddha nature. Those are the awakening nature. When those people who are practicing, meditating, then naturally it increasing love and compassion and wisdom, because you're discovering and you're connecting to your nature. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hey Rinpoche, can you show me the nature of my mind?
Nature of the mind. I don't know. What do you think, nature of the mind? What do you think? You thought any kind of little bit senses about the nature of your mind?
Say that again. Sorry.
What do you are you figure out anything about your nature of the mind?
I be here now.
What?
I'm being here now.
Yeah, that's it. You see now. That's nowness is the nature of the mind. Nowness is the nature of the mind. Nature of mind is not past, not the future. Nowness is the nature of the mind. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. It's true. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And then, but that nowness, then you have to relax. When you discover the nowness of the what now nowness, and then you have to relax. That's called meditation. Meditation is nothing but relaxing on the nowness or relaxing on the nature status.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
So I'm not sure if I should begin practicing ngondro, and I'm wondering if you could help direct me in my practice.
Mm-hmm. And again.
I'm not sure if I should begin practicing ngondro,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering if you could help direct me in my practice.
Direct, right? Yeah, and this ngondro is a Tibetan word, but ngondro is really the foundation or the practice of the entire teaching of the Buddha. So ngondro is the Tibetan word which means foundation practices, and it is the essence of all the Buddha's teaching. Buddha reached enlightenment age 35 or become the Buddha, fully awakened one, or fully fulfilled the ultimate state of loving kindness, ultimate state of the compassion, ultimate state of the wisdom that he reached at age 35. And after 49 days, after his enlightenment, he started giving the teaching or sharing his realization to the others. Those are known as the teachings or dharmas. From age 35 until he entered Mahaparinirvana or passed away, so age 80 or 81, around that time, he gave the teaching. So all those teachings are summarized, categorized about the 9 vehicles, all the 9 different groups, all the 3 yanas, those teachings. But ngondro is the essence of those all teachings combined together. So it's very powerful and the very essence of the Buddhism practices that so is really very special. And also it has 2 sections, like general foundation practices, and then more connected with Buddhism foundation practices. General foundation practices is such as life is precious. Those are general. Life is precious. Everything is impermanent, and everything is cause and condition or cause and effect systems. And then samsara or this world has trouble. World has a lot of difficulty, challenges. Those are the four common foundation practices. You reflecting of those meanings. The life is precious. And also there are like mindfulness practices. So four mindfulness practices. The life is reflecting the mind on the life is precious. Reflecting the mind, mindfulness on the impermanent, and reflecting the mind of the mindfulness of the everything is a cause and effect, and which is also known as interdependent systems, interdependent coordination systems. And then every samsara or the world has difficulties. So kind of reflecting those things and generating more love and compassion. Those are general, common foundation practices. And then in the particular, more connected with Buddhism, then refuge and bodhicitta. Refuge is one, bodhicitta. And then mandala offering, those are more connected with the foundation teaching of the Buddhism, or the more beginning teaching of the Buddhism. And then known as the mandala practices, and the major sattva practices, and the guru yoga practices. Those are more connected with the Tantra Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism. So those all together, 5 or the 6 different groups. Those are the ngondro practices, but mainly it is really more connected with bodhicitta, more concentration, more mindfulness practices, at the same time building up the more connection and confidence, courage and confidence with the devotions of head. And those are foundation or practice or ngondro practices. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so going back to the point about meditation being essentially relaxing into nowness or nature, what's a lot more relaxing than sitting is lying down. So I was wondering if you could share any, techniques or advice for practice while laying down. Is that it doesn't seem to be very common in Buddhism. Most of the time when you think of meditation, you think of people sitting very straight and rigid, but laying down seems you can do it for a lot longer, very relaxing. Do you have advice for practicing while laying down?
In Buddhism, there is in Buddhism called the dream yoga practices. Dream yoga practice, you can lay down, and also with the little instructions, then you're meditating, and that is called dream yoga practices. So the sleeping postures, that. But most of the time, then you set up. You set up on the chair, or you set up on the cushion, and they always in the Buddhist teaching mentioned why we need to set up. They often said this because there is 3 things. When our body is more straight up, lined up according to the channels, the nerve systems, then it will benefit the energy movement more straight up and more balanced nicely. When our energy is a little more balanced, and that will help to our mind more calm and peaceful. So therefore, then they always instruct him to set up on the cushion or on the chair. The most of the time on the cushions, that particularly those people who have they don't have any difficulties, troubles with the joints or anything, then they really set up on a cushion with it straight up, and that will, in the teaching said, it will really line up all the channels nicely and beautifully. Particularly we're talking channel connected with our body from the low part of the body all the way to the top of the head. That channel is the principal channel, nerve systems. So that straight up that it will make more balanced. So therefore they always really instruct him to set up with the balance, even they said, set up the balance and look straight forward to the level of your eyes, or keep the breathing more simple and normal regularly, and the shoulders are extended, and then back spines are also straight up that, and then relax mind. That will help to more relax your mind and calm and peaceful. So those are really teaching mentioned that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay? I have a question about how to experience Tukje Kunkyab. You got it? Tukje Kunkyab.
Oh, Tukje.
Yeah.
Tukje Kunkyab. Yeah, Tukje Kunkyab. Tukje Kunkyab is a Tibetan word. Tukje means compassion. Kun means everywhere. Chab means pervasive. So compassion is pervasive to everywhere. That's really Tukje Kunkyab. Tukje Kunkyab means Tukje Kunkyab. But also, if you read the Dzogchen books, then Dzogchen teaching that our mind, our nature of the mind has three qualities. Three qualities, and the first quality is emptiness qualities. Second quality is clarity qualities, brightness qualities. And the third is pervasive qualities, pervasive. So the pervasive quality is also named Tukje Kunkyab, the pervasive compassion to every directions and without any boundaries, any restrictions. So pervasive energy of the mind come from the clarity, brilliant, the brightness of the quality of the mind. Brightness of the quality of the mind, nature of mind, come from emptiness quality of the mind. Mind, they are all union. They're all together. They cannot be separated from each other. And that is really our nature of the mind in the Dzogchen teaching mentioning.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
I was just wondering, while we're in America, it feels like everybody prioritizes career over a lot of things that are also valuable. How do I not fall into that cycle of prioritizing career over self, over family, over love, compassion, and wisdom?
And the prioritizing career, right? Yeah, prioritizing career, I believe we need. You have to prioritizing. There's two things. One is that we're talking, particularly this time, the spiritual, the more kind of inner qualities. I believe myself that the spiritual is more inner quality of our mind, how we really pursue. And ultimately, so inner qualities, and then the Koreal or the professional career is external activity. Well, we are on this life. So I think we have three things. The first is that the Korea is definitely you have to prioritizing whichever you prefer, whatever you like, you have to take care of that. That is more kind of out things with your family, your friend, and how you really like to keep up this prioritizing in a career, in a life, and that is important, definitely good. But if we don't just focus only that is not full enough. That is not enough to reward to ourselves and fulfill our obligations. Because why? But ultimately, goal of our human beings, all the one is to be happy, to be more peaceful, more joy, more kind of relaxed, calmness. That's really the most important. But external corporeal activity, corporeal good activity or corporeal won't give that, I think, too much. Even you have so propelled, so successful, so good on the corporeal activities, but it won't ultimately give the happy and the joy, peaceful completely. So I think definitely we need the inner qualities, and that is then we're talking of the spiritual. That is then love, kindness, compassion, more relaxed, calm, and respect and appreciation. Respect to oneself, one's own self, respect to the others, helping and supporting whatever you can do. All those are then more kind of reflected with it from the inner qualities. So I think both externally this prioritizing your professional activity things, that definitely you need, but also together with that, as I will say more inner qualities such as just calm and peaceful. Even those prioritizing the external activity is a lot of like kind of sometimes worry, sometimes like this, a lot of things going on, but deep trying to calm and peaceful, relax, and a little bit more meditation and mindfulness. Those really will help to propel also the corporeals. I think definitely will help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rinpoche, I was just wondering, how can I balance wanting to follow the Buddhist teachings as closely as possible while I also find that I have an undeniable connection to another religious figure?
Again, I couldn't.
How can I balance like following the Buddhist teachings, like as closely as I follow the Buddhist teachings very closely, and at the same time, like also honor and balance that I have like a strong connection to another religious figure?
I think generally, all the religions, our foundation is very similar. Similar because everyone is based upon the compassion and the loving kindness. So I think so when you respect and when you have the love and the compassion, that which is taught in the Buddhism, I'm sure is similar to the other religions. So love and compassion, there is, as I said earlier, there is no boundaries. Love and compassion bond perfectly, blend perfectly to all the religions. So increase more love and compassion, and then following whichever you feel more beneficial, more helpful to activating more loving kindness, more compassion, and more openness, and more relaxed. And follow with that. That also is really essence teaching of the Buddhism too. So I don't think there's a contradiction, say anything that you can combine both together.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Can you assure me that the body and the mind will always be intertwined?
Body and mind are intermingled.
Can you assure me that the body and mind will always be intertwined, intermingled?
The body and mind are intermingled, right? Intermingled as long as we live, as long as we stay on this earth. That's long. Body and mind stays together. But as soon as we leave this body, or when we leave this earth, and the body and the mind depart each other, or they separated. They separated that. And because the reason why, according to Buddhism, body is constructed from 4 elements. 4 elements. Earth, water, fire, and wind. They are like what in modern they call, they are mass. They're metals or mass. Mass, M-A-S-S, mass. And mind is not mass. Mind is not metals. Mind is in Buddhism called mind. Mind is mind. It's completely different categories. So when we leave this world, the body is behind because it cannot go, cannot travel, but mind travels. So that time, then separated. Otherwise, it's very much connected. Our mind, or my mind, is very much connected with my body. Body is each individually like that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for speaking with us. How can we be more loving and compassionate unconditionally, without condition?
Maybe I can tell now.
How can we be more loving and compassionate unconditionally without any conditions?
That is our goal. That is our goal, and that is our prayer. Unconditional love and unconditional compassion is poor immeasurable. Poor immeasurable is our prayers. We pray for immeasurable. For example, may all living beings have the happiness, cause of happiness. When we do that, pray from our heart is open. Really wish sincerely from our heart, everyone is happy. Now, but also they must have continued to be happy because they need cause. So you're praying to have the cause, you're praying to have the result from the cause. And what is the result of the cause of the happiness? Is love, is compassion. And when you have the result of when we have cause of compassion, a result, when we have the cause of happiness, when we pray to the happiness, what is we avoid it? What is the obstacle of the happiness is, what I said, the cause of happiness is love and compassion. And opposite of love and compassion is negative emotions. Negative emotions are anger, jealousness, arrogance, ignorance. Those are not cause of happiness. They are the cause of suffering. So we're praying, may all living beings have the happiness and always have the cause of happiness. So that means they always have love. Love brings love. Compassion brings compassion. Joy brings joy. That common sense, we know. No. And when we have the anger, arrogance, jealousness, and then the grasping or clinging, attachment strongly, and then it brings suffering, sadness, uncomfortable, and it brings unsecure. Really, it brings. So we pray, may not only beings have those all arise or come completely avoided, and have more love in their heart and mind, and through that, then it will bring them more happiness, more peaceful, more calmness. That's what we pray. So this praying of the poor immeasurable is we are praying to fulfill the goal of the unconditional love and compassion. And then also this unconditional love and compassion will produce when we meditate. When meditating on the nature of the mind, then in the teaching said it also really will bring the unconditional love and unconditional compassion. Unconditional love and compassion means what? without any expectations, without any boundaries, without any discriminations. Your love is shining openly to all beings, as like sun shines. Sun don't have any discrimination where I hit the light, wherever the opportunity, wherever the circumstance allows, the sunlight goes that everywhere. Similarly, our love, our compassion, from our nature of the mind as a sun, radiating that to all beings, without any discrimination, without any judgmentals, without any expectations, wishing that from the heart and praying such as pour immeasurables. Those are then is like the way to discovering the unconditional love, unconditional compassion.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
My question is, what is your advice for when you're having negative emotions and they're blocking you from being open and loving? Even if you know that, but you just can't get out of it.
Really, I'm sorry again, couldn't hear.
What is your advice if you have negative emotions happening and they're blocking your love and compassion from being there? Even if you know that's happening, but you just can't get out of the negative emotions happening?
I think it's knowing, recognizing, knowing of when we have the negative emotions, that is really good. According to in a Buddhist teaching, that's the first step. When you have that thought, it is, for example, the strength or the strength of the emotion is 100%. When you have that thought, that kind of recognized thought, it made you at least 95%. It reduced from the 100% to the 95%. Now when you recognize what you do, and the teaching said, don't follow after that thought. Don't act after that. Moment you had recognized that, and through your mindfulness, through your consciousness, trying to not follow after that. Not just following after that, let it go. You release. If you're alone, such as yourself alone, and release the deep breathings, really deep breathings, or just release that emotions, or release that out instantly that, and look to your mind, where that anger came from, where that emotions come from. Moment you look to your mind where it come from, that moment in the teaching mentioned is that there is no source. It's blowing air from the emptiness space of the mind. So there is not really any places. So therefore, then you should say, well, why I follow with this emptiness thought, and I'm going to let it go. If you able to do that, that is in a Buddha's teaching, so that individually is hero. Hero, right? Hero ones. Hero and heroiness. That's it. You defeated the top nuts of the emotional enemies, opponents immediately. Really, your hero in Buddhism, what is sometimes named arhatas, and called arhata, one who defeated the enemy. When that defeat the enemy outside, we think outside, but in Buddhism, that when you defeat your own negative emotion, that person is the warrior. That person is really like the one who defeated your enemy, because these emotions are always a troublemaker. They didn't add any benefit to us from the beginner's times, and is continually making that. And now when you recognize that, and you really don't go after that emotions, if you release that and kind of take care of that, and then you're really winner. You're the winner, and that is warriors.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I feel that trust is one of the most important but challenging relationships to have with others. What is your advice for staying trusting in life when your trust has not always been respected?
I'm sorry again.
Trust is one of the most important and challenging things to have. What's your advice to strengthen that trusting, trustworthiness, even if in the past, like that trustworthiness hasn't really been honored that well?
No, trust is really important. Trust is very important, particularly in a Buddha's teaching, Buddhism teaching that when you're connected to your spiritual friend, or when you're connected to the Dharma, you have to have trust. And through that, you should, in order to develop the trust, you should do what's in the Buddhism, starting and contemplating. Starting and contemplating. That is more analytic ways. So how you start? You starting, read the books and listen to those who are expert or who are a little bit more expert than you. Listen to them and also read the books. If it's comparing each other, kind of correcting that. And also same time, you should think yourself is truth and correct through that. And then you look to that way and quite correct and quite good, and as well as all the books are saying same thing, and also all those experts, a little bit learned ones, whoever that, they're also saying the similar things. Then you examined, you checked, you looked, and the people say this is quite good. And looking to the history, they follow that way and for a lot of goal and a lot of achievement. Then you should put up the trust. That is the trust, and then you should follow with that. And trust is the key foundation to fulfill the goal of that. Then when you have the trust, and with trust you follow with that, then really you fulfill the goal and you will achieve whatever you're looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
She also said, what if in the past that's been broken, the trust, and now it's a little harder?
Oh yeah, that.
Maybe
then, if that's the case, if the past is broken something, then you have to be little careful. No, really, you have to be careful. Careful that. If it's going to repeat that or not, follow the common sense. I think that's really. If somebody broken trust, all that, and then just be with the cautious follow, not completely follow, but then it looks like quite okay. Continually looks like okay, maybe that was the mistakes happening in a once in a lifetime, and now looks okay, then you can follow. But essentially you have also your own intelligence, the wisdoms and the common sense, and follow with the common sense. So once generally when the trust is broken, you should stay with still, if it's individually, stay still a friend and nicely, but maybe you have to be a little bit more thoughtful, more smart yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I was wondering about today. Earlier we were talking about how we were talking about wrathful deities and how sometimes the most loving thing to do is to put a stop to something that's harmful, but it needs to be done extremely skillfully to prevent recreating harm or hate or vengeance and negative emotions. So I'm wondering, as beings who aren't enlightened and might not be skillful, how can we know when to put a stop to something that's harmful?
Again, I'm so sorry, it's echoing for me.
Earlier today we were talking about wrathful Buddhas and how to really kind of skillfully put a stop to something that's harmful. But if we don't have a certain level of skill, but there's definitely something that's harmful happening, and we're not enlightened ourselves, so we don't really know exactly what to do. How can we actually skillfully deal with something that needs a little kind of stronger response?
wrathful deity.
And so, and wrathful deity kind of is like as like an example of like very skillfully, or like what seems to be a more strong way to stop a harmful thing from happening. But if we don't have that skill or that wisdom yet to deal with a situation that's really harmful, like how do we develop that, or what can we do when it's a situation?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely wrathful. Then this is ancient time. There's one stories. So I tell the story. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's called the Chu practitioners. Chu practitioners. You heard that Chu practitioners? Chu practitioners, they go alone in the very scary places. Scary places, wherever they think that is scary places, they go and they do the meditation and practices and inviting every invisible beings, whatever exists there, and come to me and enjoy, use me, enjoy. I give myself to you all. Whatever you like to do, you can do to me. So they do the prayer, and because it's based upon the bodhicitta, and also is based upon the generosity of the giving one's own body, and that's one of the purposes. In the deep down, you are also trying to kind of like demolishing your own ego clinging, self-important attitude, self-important thought. Because the self-important thought, self-important attitude is one of the troublemakers in the teaching mentioned that. So you trying to kind of give up self-important and give up ego clinging away, and then in order to do that, going to going to the scary places and inviting all the invisible beings, ask to use them. So now, but this individual must be not so highly kind of like courageous and strong enough. So he did all that practices, and now the practice is completed. So it goes in the nighttime, in the midnight, kind of approaching, and then some of his friends he'd like to test them. Is really he's strong or not? So then they thought they were going to test. So now this person did all those special prayers, invited to everyone, use him, and all those prayers, finish it. And now he's meditating. While he's meditating, something he heard noise, unusual noise. He thought, I hope it's not some kind of wild animals, things. So he's a little scared. Usually, said when you go to those places, you should not scared at all. You should have to be strong. You shouldn't scare to anyone. So now he's a little scared. He's meditating, continually meditating. Now he's meditating on the wrath of deities. They're making more kind of strange sounds and kind of making noise and sounds and all that. So he's really chanting prayers and making prayer, thinking of the wrath of deities. But that didn't really prevent it. It's getting stronger and stronger. And now, visually, some strange beings are coming toward him. He chanted more prayers, but they're not stopping. They're coming more closer. And now he threw his ritual objects to them. But still that didn't stop. He said, all the ritual. Then he really thought, now he's going to stop. So he get up and he run away. So that is one of that. So I think when there's not so much solution, we just have to run away. I think that's it. I think, that's it. Don't be. So run away. So next day, his friend is because they're the one who cheated there. Next day, he come back to the monastery and he's sitting there. He said, how is your meditation on the scary places? He said, it's not so good. I have so much visions and so many kind of sound, and I couldn't say that. And so they started kind of laughing, and finally he understood. They came and chased him. So that's really the story. So I think so. One of that is that when that happening, you chant the wrath of deities, whatever meditation, mantra, all that, and then if it's not happening, do whatever you want to do. It's the best. I think it's the best to do, really. I think that's it. But this is the emotions. Those are really comes, all that. Then really the meditation of the wrath of deity. My wrath of deity is good. According to teaching, it really will help and remove the obstacles and obscurations. Continually that. But then sometimes even those practices, it looks like it's not immediately helping that, then, but also don't lose the confidence. Don't lose the confidence, do the practice. Definitely it will support, it will help with that. But at the same time, some other techniques or whatever you feel the best, use those too. Really, I'm not joking. To use those things so to kind of ease the situation and circumstance, make more smooth ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Maybe
it'll be easier if I just talk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you recommend helping suicidal people?
Uh-huh. How to help the suicide people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think suicide people, most of the time, they're depressed. I believe depressed, they're scared, and they're not happy themselves. I believe that's the cause. So for that, I think it's really with the compassion, with the bodhicitta, again, encourage them and kind of glorify their courage, their qualities, their goodness. And they don't have to feel they're bad, they're not successful, they're not worthwhile. I mean, actually, is really no one is unworthy. No one is unworthy. No one is unqualified. In the Buddha's teachings said, whoever have the courage and the commitment, and we have the joyful effort, if you courage the endeavor, everyone will succeed. Everyone will fulfill. Maybe it's sometimes difficult, sometimes a little harder, or sometimes a little slow, but nevertheless, really you will fulfill. If you continually do that with your heart and mind, together with courage and commitment, confidence. Because why? In the Buddhism, because everyone has Buddha nature. Buddha nature is equal to everyone. No one has a good Buddha nature and some has bad Buddha nature. No, everyone has the same Buddha nature, is fully potential, fully developed, full qualities. Everyone has. That Buddha nature is, according to Buddhism, in your heart center. Your heart center is residing right now. And all our love, and all our compassion, all our courage and commitment, confidence coming from that Buddha nature. Maybe it's going to the brain, but it's coming from the Buddha nature. Reflecting. So when you activated the Buddha nature, all the skills, the method, the performance, all come as a magnet. When you put the magnet, whatever it collects, whatever it magnetizes, have the things, it really comes. Just it gathers to you, it draws to you, and brings fulfillment that. So you have to encourage to them, encourage and support, and bring more confidence to them, more highlight their qualities, and say nice things. And so that's really, I think, mostly important. Most important, because those people all need confidence, more appreciate themselves, more respect to themselves. And generally, we all need respect to ourselves. And respect, what in the teaching said, one of the 7 treasures in the Buddhism, respect to one's own self, respect to the others, as treasure. Treasure, respect to ourselves, respect to the others. We ourselves is worthwhile, special, and others are too special. We respect each other. Through that, we will gain the good fulfillment. So therefore, I think that's really the best. I think, and then with your love, kindness, compassion, support, and help as much as you can is really good, very special. Suicide is one of the very kind of like disaster or bad things that in Buddhism is really not good. In the Buddha teaching, mentioned that suicide is like same as you're killing someone. So you're killing yourself is worse than even like many times, like very worse too. And also it blocks the future kind of a lot of brightness in future things. So it's not good. Thank you. Okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah, please. Thank you.
When you don't know how to help, how do you know how to help? Because, for example, with my father, I feel like I always try to help, and the times I've tried to help, I feel like I make it worse.
It didn't walk him.
Make it worse.
More worse.
Like my helpfulness seems to, like for example, I gave him yoga once and he had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Maybe it wasn't related, but basically, how do I know when I'm being helpful or if I'm not?
Yeah. I think that generally your love and your kindness and compassion thought is always good. Really, even immediately the father or the someone doesn't respond nicely, but deep down, it really makes change. So love and compassion with a good heart is good. And then always with the open heart, open mind, help and support without any expectations is really good. Good, particularly your parent, when you help and support, even they didn't respond immediately as kind of when you help to the other people, but because they have been so much connected to you, and they kind of used to be, maybe they don't immediately respond even your help, but it is really powerful, it's special. So don't feel bad and don't feel kind of, it's not worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile. But then also, when you help, you kind of accord, and maybe you know more. For example, your parent or your friend, what you think they will accept, and accord their acceptance, accord their kind of like how they feel comfortable, and do that way, help with kind word and politeness and a gentle and then nice way, then help and support. Even a small way maybe is more beneficial, more powerful, satisfaction. Do that way is good. Good, but generally, as long as we have the good heart and helping and support with others as much as we can, even they didn't respond, I think is excellent. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Hello, Rinpoche. I never met your brother. I was a little boy when he passed his prime nirvana.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any stories of your brother you'd like to share with us?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. My brother. Okay. My brother is definitely one of the great scholars in the Buddhism or in the Tibetan society. One of he was, but he is also definitely he is quite humble. He is very casual, and he is also maybe a little stubborn too. Stubborn, and so that's I just tell one story that we are coming from Tibet. We are running from Tibet because the communist Chinese invaded our country. We're coming, and then we reached to the southern Tibet called the Pemaku area, and then in Pemaku there is a famous river called Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is coming from Pemaku, going to Assam, and then go to Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a very big famous river, but it's originated from Tibet. And then through the jungle of the Pemaku is coming, and everyone is carrying their own luggages. With that time, we have 6 family members, my parents, and then my brother and the 2 young sisters. All 6 of us were carrying our luggages and traveling, but a lot of rain on the road. Always the Pemaku is a tropical area, a lot of rain, and the roads are not also like here, it's all footpath, and so we're coming. So now we're coming from the Pemaku, and then the following along the bank of the river, Brahmaputra. But then occasionally there's a big tree fall down, and so then you have it blocks the path. You can't jump from the tree with luggage, so you have to go all the way up in the top of the tree and come down like this. But then when the dry time, when there's not raining time, some travel made marks on the tree, big tree trunk, marks on the tree by the tools. So somebody must go through that. And now we're all coming, and my brother, he was trying to cross a shortcut and cross from there, but it's wet and it's a little slippery. My father said, don't cross that, go up in this way, go up and go around and come back there. And then my brother didn't listen, and he stepped up there, and the moment he stepped up there, he slipped, and he fell down in the Brahmaputra with his carrying luggage. And my father he said afterward, of course, I'm a small tree, that time young, so round, and my father carrying the luggage, but he himself quite broad. I remember he knows how to make the special traveling luggage or carrying luggage. It's similar kind of backpack here, but it's of course all made out of the bamboo. He kind of so he made that. He released immediately his luggage on the ground. He jumped in the river, and my brother fell down in the Brahmaputra upside down like this, and then he thought and he said in his mind, now I must be carried by the river now. River is so big because so much rain. Rain is so big, just fell down there. And then so river wave, carried far away a little bit. And my father jumped there and he extended his arm, and that time, luckily, another wave of the river kind of pushed back to the bay, and my father extended his arm, my brother's arm, and they meet, and so he can pull immediately from that. So then he come back the river, and he's, of course, everything is so wet, everything is wet. So that's my story of my brother. So so he's a little stubborn. He don't like to listen to father, and he like to do the shortcut, and then there's almost he shortcutted himself. What? He loved the water. Oh yeah, he loves the water. He loved the water. He don't know how to swimming. And again another story. In India, now we're a refugee in India at New Delhi. In New Delhi, nearby there is, at that time, now is all filled with the houses, really. Near the Yamuna River, there's a very famous holy river called the Yamuna, and that river, near their bank, and this what's called? There is a Ladakhi Buddhist temple. And so in nearby there's an empty ground. Now all that filled with houses. There's no, and that time we all stay in the tent, refugees. So many Tibetans are sitting in, and then sitting, and so every day my brother he goes to the river Yamuna, and there's so many India also comes and take shower and a bath, and they all know swimming. swimming. So, but then he said, I don't know that, but he said that then he go there, and there's one Indian young man, and they become kind of good friends. So been many times they're kind of talking, even though my brother don't really speak Hindi that time. Hindu, but they kind of communicate again, they're nice to each other. And one day, his friend, Indian, he jumped in the river, and of course, he's playing in the river. He asked, come to me. And my brother don't know swimming, so he thought he won't go. But he's asking, and he saw this, when he looked to this young Indian man he's doing, it looks so simple and so nice. I think that I should jump. He thought I should go. So then, finally he decided, he jumped in the river. And the river is so deep that time. And now, he's like, he don't know the swimming, so he's like trying to kind of get up on the surface, but deep down. And the young boy, he thought he's playing. He's just playing. He thought he's not really sporting, kind of, he's laughing and saying this. He's almost drowning. And then finally, this young man, or that Indian young man, realized that he's really drowning. So then he come up and he pushed it, and then come out of that. So that's another story. Okay.
Did you say, Rinpoche, about when your father in the river, when Ken Rinpoche fell in? Did you say something interesting happened there?
That's because my father said that he prayed to Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche is this Buddha. He prayed to Guru Rinpoche, and Qi Rinpoche, he also kind of really saw Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche is extending his arms. He also praying to Guru Rinpoche, so that's what they're kind of like in a thought, but externally both extended arm each other, and it reach the right moment, so pull back. But otherwise, really, Brahmaputra is so big river. What? They're very fast, also rough in it. So that's my, yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Any question? Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could explain what primordial consciousness
Mm-hmm.
means, as in all phenomena are displays of primordial consciousness.
Primordial consciousness. Okay, primordial consciousness, and is a primordial consciousness. I think it is in the Dzogchen teaching in Buddhism, rukpa, awareness. So primordial consciousness is each of us has primordial consciousness, and it has many different names. Primordial consciousness and awareness, rupa, self-born wisdoms, and then also Buddha nature, ordinary nature. It has many different names, but primordial nature is you have, I have, everybody, everyone has primordial consciousness, according to Buddhism. It's not one primordial consciousness is providing that. Everyone has the primordial consciousness. And so that is nature of the mind, or nature of our own intelligence. So whatever the terminology we use is that. And all the wisdoms, love and compassion coming from there. And all the consciousness is also coming from there. What means all consciousness? There are 5 consciousness, 6 consciousness. 5 consciousness related with the eye consciousness, air consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. And so those are all connected or come from that primordial consciousness. And the primordial consciousness itself is pure, clear, brilliant, uncompounded, undisturbable, It is the same primordial we had in our former lives, and now, and it will be future. It's never change, never decline, never go old. Is out of the birth, out of the death, out of the decline, anything. That is the primordial consciousness or the awareness. That is the Buddha nature or enlightened nature, that we all have that. And it's so pure, is already enlightened. But then what is all our obscurations, all the different negatives that we're talking today, the way that is all created by the duality mind that arises the energy from the primordial nature, and then we misused, we mishandled with grasping, clinging, attachment, and then diluted, and then purification of the all the emotions and disturbances arising, that all happening. That happened, but reality is also not everything is like display. There is no substantial solid existing. Everything is empty, but yet it is making challenge and the difficulties to us. Those one we don't know exactly is the nature. That's how it happened. And then also everything is also a display of the primordial, because all your poem, you're seeing the poem by the eye, you're seeing the sound by the ear, and you're thinking of your mind, all is connected with primordial. A display of the primordial, that mind is nothing else. What you see is your mind you seeing. What you heard is your mind. What you think is your mind. Even when looking to the common sense, the external things, objects, many people is looking, but everyone, what you see is slightly private and different, and therefore different, what we call the different taste, a different understanding. That happened because the individual is slightly different. So that's how this primordial consciousness kind of briefly, and every is sourced by everything. Okay.
So
yeah.
there are a lot of good things in life, and there are a lot of bad things in life. Aside from a daily practice, are there tips for staying in equanimity and not clinging to the good and rejecting the bad?
There's a lot of good things in
Yeah.
life, a lot of bad things in life. But aside from a daily practice,
Mhm.
are there any tips you have that would help us to not cling to the good and like reject the bad, but just to kind of be able to be,
Yeah,
equanimity?
it's true. In the life, definitely there's a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. But also, Bryce said, this all happening, this is also nothing really permanent. It's not permanent. It's good things are always good. Bad things are always bad. It's not permanent. And therefore, it's also called display. But what we need to do when this display comes, we have to be strong. We have to be strong, we have to be calm and peaceful, do our best. Best things, really we try and do. And when good things happening, also in the teaching always mentioned, do things, don't attach it too much. And do good things. Good things is not enough that there. You should do more things, but not attach it, not grasping, not clinging. And bad things happen, also we should not feel so bad and victims, all that. That will change. Bad things are lessons, because from that lesson we become good. Even sometimes bad things happen, they have more better good result than the good things. Therefore, bad is not always bad. Bad brings good things. So when the good things comes, also not kind of arrogance and pride, humble and simple, enjoy and do the good things continually good things. Then really life is meaningful, life is precious, life is special, and along that, as much as we can help and support to helping others through our verbally, through our activities, our intentionally, as much as we can do. And also same time, when we do that, feel happy and joy, we're doing something good. I did good something. You can be proud and happy, and wish we can do more good things in the future to benefit others. And moving that way, I think in the Buddhism teaching said, then you're fulfilling your life very beautifully. Nice, that's the way really we should move. And so that's what I was saying. Okay? Okay, thank you everyone. Yeah, one more, then we stop here. Now is almost 5, I think. Yeah, yes, please.
Could you please give us a transmission for ngondro?
Ngondro? Yes, I will do that. Yes, okay, thank you. Yes, this ngondro, I think as I said, this beginning, and of course from Lama Trapwa and Clinton, they will also know, and then Lama Laya here too. But this is a foundation practice. It is very condensed and special practices. So if you can do those prayers and practices, wonderful. If you can do all that, if you couldn't do all that, even this, as I said in beginning of this four that's called the for reflection of the reverse mind is said here, but it's reflecting the mind, the 4 different points. The first is the precious life. The life is so precious. Our life, your life is precious. Life to everyone is precious, really precious. Kind of when you have this precious life, you kind of have some kind of courage and commitment. Feel that I'm going to use this life for the good purpose. Kind of have those thoughts. Then impermanent is just always here. I mean, it's not something that so reflecting the impermanent. Impermanent is everything is changing. Everything. There's nothing is last one moment. It's just changing, and then it cause and effect. Those are this. And samsara has some difficulty, troubles. Those are that. So then of course is all here. And definitely I will give the transmission. Yeah, this one, okay? So our transmission means I'm just going to read this, because this is the teaching of the lineage. It started from the Buddha, and then Kungarapa Masambhava, then this famous teacher who came in the 20th century, it's called His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche, or Dongyal Rinpoche. So from him, I also received this teaching, as well as from many other masters, teachers. So I will receive transmission from them, and then I will again read that what I received from them as like continuation. That so I will give that. And now then we do short meditation. While you all meditating, then I will read that and give this transmission. Savalama Yalo, so on the body, Savalama Moja Daga Jura, the Kadekima Gona, the Kosovo of Sarado, Lamboja, so the pneumatologist of Yozo, Wodunum Jetu, Cotton, the Yunum, you Lama, Tava the Dobras and Yellow Yaran, Sanyamozo, the Robert, you will the children, the combat Sanjelo, you had to give Solon one hurry, you can just or Pugulaman, the Longman and Job, Horizon Yellow, Damayela, Mayaka, Tadi Kiva Sanya was on the work in Lord and you were doing so much doing Mapji, Rakbarava Kaya, Lava Devia Kaya, and as I bet you, Sanya, didn't losing who do that and the nature. Sonia, Young and Amazon, the girl, just on the road, that he lama chula to them in the country in the moon, or certain you want to be calling Javakas in the Gopai Lama Yakon, and Kondam in the Lama or Yabaranga, do you meet or so. So when you die, you do Yada Neba, you don't know what you're doing in the Malaman in the nation. She's a man that you're in the Gale, you know, $100 or you, Malaman, you so Laman number you will meet the young Madalama Cojas and you say you manager was all the time, no Koraman, my son, you could be the Lord, yes, the Muslim and the one man, among the young parents on the Zero, he made a Gama and Barola, you but you to the edge of Lama, the man of the man. They remember Susan and Mr. Hero Sarat Nanga, the Mother Bama, so much to them. When you know, and their own better, you done and Roger, the Yamra Yado, Amazon, Laman, Dorian, Window, Maconia, Melinda, Lama, the Padas, oh, Madame Orabema said, oh, he and the commander of the Yamadi, the Madame Oragaya, what they say, they own Lamayan and the Yamra. And I did Yambra Yago, one woman, Salamu, so one day the Yami, Julan, the Mandamazana, and the Mother Magwing, and Lilum, Rodola, Jacomindo, but a case of Monan, the Danguran, the Yamajor, the Jibra, Yudorian, about the Zoe, Judan, the Genus, get us some dad doing the Baka, that's someone who looked children over, Kilaman over the land, 20 years without you, 2 years. Berceto and then by the Jebs Lamas and Yellow Jebs Lamas and Yellow, so on the Lamar, what you do, the Carmela, 2 years, mean the 2 years, 2 years, mean the Brazil Yellow woman on the some years when you better know, Chegana, Saban Solan, Penny, Temayor, never, Teman the Machi, and the Cosijan is like Sulakan, Kado, again. Get the noise and over your senior time with it, and then you had a time when you sign your symbol. Tedagony more on the Borgos and Geneva, Junior, Don and Montada, but you don't know the Nemons of Dongame, Mother Chidison of Tata Hidel, Mother Sanis, Majipan, Chivan Yambam, Kone, Bever, Jokan, children in Dano, Southern, my brothers on show. Okay, thank you, okay, thank you very much everyone, thank you for everyone, okay, thank you so much everyone, thank you, okay, I just really like to thank you very much everyone coming and participating in this and having this program, so I thank you very much all comers, all the one comes, and how you all enjoyed and we all enjoyed, everyone is talking how nice you are and how beautiful you are, how enthusiastic you are, and all the good things that they are just echoing through this air, back and forth, all that. So I thank you all, okay? Thank you. And then I thank you very much to, of course, Lama Chakwa and the Lama Laya, and also Clinton, and all the other assistants who help and support to activate this. So I'm so thankful. I hope we will see again, and so thank you again. Really, thank you very much, everyone. Okay? Thank you. Okay. And then wish you all have the best, really very fulfillment in lives, and very successful, and also peace and good health, and joy, and a lot of good things that you all fulfill. Praise for that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.